Hello everyone, it is day 6 of my trip to the UK, October 31st, and today I am in Southport staying with the Worgan family, and today we're going to go check out Doctor Who filming locations in Liverpool. So we went to the Southport train station, and there was a CEX store at the station, and so Mark and I had to check out if they had any Doctor Who DVDs, and sure enough, they had a whole little section of classic Doctor Who DVDs. Then it was off to the train station to get a Metro card for the day and to catch our train. So we got off the train in Liverpool, and from there today we would walk everywhere. Our first stop was to check out St. Luke's Church. However, on the way we spotted a Forbidden Planet in Liverpool, and we had to go in there and check out their Doctor Who merchandise. Right up front and center was the Doctor Who merchandise in the Forbidden Planet store. They had coasters, books, mugs, art, prints, t-shirts, some Diamond Collection merchandise. I also spotted a hardcover Doctor Who book, The Official Story of the Films by John Walsh, and they had an amazing manga section, which was just incredible. Once we were done in Forbidden Planet, we went to St. Luke's Church, which was right nearby. Hello everyone, so here I am today in Liverpool in front of St. Luke's bombed out church, and this was used for filming in Doctor Who Series 13 Flux. We had a scene with, on the inside here, of Diane and Dan Lewis having a coffee together in this incredible location. You'll recognize those arches from the inside in the reverse from the episode itself. And it was so cool to explore that area. We couldn't go inside to where they'd filmed, but we could film from the outside. So I'm just gonna turn this around and show it to you. According to the website for St. Luke's Church, St. Luke's bombed-out church suffered catastrophic damage during the May Blitz of 1941, leaving only its external masonry standing. Overgrown and inaccessible, the site lay derelict for over 60 years before being cleared and transformed by a series of cultural events, reopening the space to the public. Having become an established venue for theater, dance, classical and world music, visual art, cinema, and the spoken word, the site now stands as a testament to community spirit and the power of the arts to effect change, a living, working monument to the people of Liverpool. There was a lot of beautiful architecture and buildings in Liverpool. This in particular is Rodney Street. On our way to our next stop, we passed by the School for the Blind and the Liverpool Philharmonic, and then we arrived at the Metropolitan Cathedral of Christ the King. This was also a filming location from Doctor Who Series 13 Flux. An absolutely beautiful building, incredibly huge. So many steps to get to the right spot, but it was so cool to stand where Doctor Who actors had once stood and to film where Doctor Who cameras had filmed. It was amazing. All right, so here I am in front of the Metropolitan Cathedral of Christ the King, and this right here is the very spot where the villain of the episode appeared. And then you go right there is where they all sat. So I'm gonna go there. So I'm gonna sit down and just take in the fact that I am here right where Dan and Diane sat for their date. Absolutely incredible. Take a look at this. It is absolutely stunning. And inside, right as you went in, there was this structure that looked like a TARDIS console, I kid you not. It was amazing, just the coincidence of the design, but inside was the beautiful, beautiful stained glass ceiling in this giant cathedral. Oh, the acoustics were incredible too. There was again some beautiful, beautiful architecture on our walk through Liverpool. We also spotted the Radio City Tower, which of course I had to do a Leaning Tower of Pisa pose in front of. This wasn't in any Doctor Who to my knowledge. This is just one of those famous Liverpool landmarks, but it did remind me of the post office tower in The War Machines, so I had to get a picture with it. We also spotted Worlds Apart. I mean, when you see a neon sign saying Pop Funkos, you know there are going to be a ton of Pop Funkos inside, and there were. Oh my goodness, so many, such a variety. It was so cool. There was a Captain Picard mug, which was adorable, and some Lord of the Rings statues, and we found some Doctor Who merchandise. Not a lot, but there was some. We had some action figures and Big Finish CDs and bobbleheads and mugs. There were some cool mini figurine statues, comics, a Lord of the Rings chess set, some Doctor Who Magic the Gathering Commander decks, very cool Star Trek action figures. Once we were done in Worlds Apart, we went to St. George's Hall, which was right nearby, and filmed in front of the pillars, where they once again filmed for Doctor Who Series 13 Flux. Beautiful, beautiful steps and pillars. St. George's Hall was used as the filming location where Yaz, Dan, and Professor Jericho talked to Alfie about his grandfather who used to work for Joseph Williamson. It was so cool to be in this location, walking in the very spot where these Doctor Who characters walked for Doctor Who Survivors of the Flux. So I'm just here at St. George's in Liverpool. I'm actually on the location of Doctor Who Flux. I mean, what an incredible, the ceiling is so high. This is just so incredible. Look at those columns there. Oh my goodness, beautiful, beautiful location. I can see why they chose to film here. Right, on to the next location. Once we were done in St. George's Hall, we went to the HMV shop in Liverpool, which was right nearby, and got to go inside and look for their Doctor Who merchandise. And there were indeed some classic Doctor Who DVD box sets, quite a few of them, and a lot of classic Doctor Who DVDs as well as new series DVDs. It was incredible. Standard editions, classic and new series Blu-rays, even a limited edition Blu-ray box set, just new on the shelves. This is not something you'd find easily in the US. Some anime. Looked in the vinyl section for Doctor Who, but didn't find any. But there was, at the front, a lovely display case for Doctor Who, which was awesome to see as well. Then I got to ride a blue double-decker bus. It was so cool to take a little trip around Liverpool. I'm on a double-decker bus. Look at this. Look at this. Which took us closer to our next destination. It was so cool to take a little trip around Liverpool, not have to walk everywhere. There was beautiful architecture, and it's just so cool to take this trip around Liverpool. Our next destination was the Museum of Liverpool. This is where Series 13 of Doctor Who starts. It's part of Dan's storyline, and it was so cool to go to the Museum of Liverpool. It is a beautiful spot. In Series 13, Episode 1, The Halloween Apocalypse, Dan is giving unofficial tours of the Liverpool Museum, but then he gets caught by Di, and he has to end his unofficial tour. This building is absolutely stunning. It was so cool to be able to go and see the steps that they walked down and to be in the exact same spot, and it was just absolutely amazing. And then they discussed their date/not date that they're going to go on. So here I am at the Museum of Liverpool behind me, and these are the steps where they filmed. It is absolutely incredible to be here. This is where in the show Diane works, and where Dan meets up with her. Once we were done at the museum, we went to the Royal Albert Dock, which is a complex of dock buildings and warehouses. However, on the way, we spotted a red double-decker bus and a red telephone box. There was even a Ferris wheel, so we had to be careful not to be taken over by the nesting consciousness. Royal Albert Dock had been used twice in the filming of Doctor Who Series 13 Flux. Once where the Doctor hid Dan in his own time stream in an attempt to keep him safe in Flux Episode 3 Once Upon Time. But perhaps more excitingly, it's also the location where Dan chooses to travel with the Doctor and Yaz. So this is a location where the TARDIS has actually landed. It was so cool to see where the TARDIS had literally stood. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. So Mark and I went all the way to that end of the dock. The TARDIS would have been right here, right by this ring here, and we would have had the pavilion in the background, the Atlantic Pavilion there. That is so cool. I was just filming some shots of this beautiful carousel when my phone battery finally gave out, so the rest of the evening is pieced together from other phones. We were close by to an incredible restaurant called Fazenda's. Just outside it, we took photos in front of this incredible light display, which was amazing. The Worgans go to Fazenda's on very special occasions, and apparently me coming over qualified, which was so kind of them to take me to this amazing and incredible, super fancy restaurant. You have a coaster in front of you that is green on one side and red on the other, and if your coaster is green, these waiters just keep coming around with different types of meat on a spit that they then carve a piece off for you, and they just keep coming around with different types of meat. It was all so delicious, so incredible. And they wouldn't stop bringing you meat until you turned your coaster over to the red side. But that was just a pause button. You could flip it back over. It was so incredible. There was a lamb crusted in garlic. It was incredible. My favorite, though, was the honey-soaked ham. That was the best. I wish I'd saved room entirely for just that. And there were some incredible tasty tropical mocktails. We then walked back to the Liverpool station, took the train back to Southport. It was such an incredible treat, and I'm so grateful to the Worgans for taking me there. It was an incredible experience. Once we got back to Southport, we went back to the Worgans and I got some rest because the next day we were going to go to Blackpool and go shopping for more Doctor Who stuff.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Doctor Who Guide YouTube channel. You know it makes sense.